Despite being bright enough to be seen with the naked eye, Uranus was mistaken for a star for centuries. In 128 BCE, the ancient Greek astronomer Hipparchus cataloged it as nothing more than a point of light. That was just the beginning, but it took thousands of years for Uranus to reveal its true identity. English astronomer John Flamsteed observed it 6 times in 1690, and French astronomer Le Monnier saw it 14 times. Yet neither realized they were looking at a planet. That revelation had to wait until 1781. A man named William Herschel pointed his telescope at the sky and saw something more than just a star. At first, he thought it was a comet, but calculations and further observations revealed that it was an object orbiting the sun at a consistent speed, a new planet. And from that moment, Uranus became known as the first modern planet discovered in our solar system. But discovering the planet wasn't the end of the story. It was only the beginning. Herschel wanted to name it after King George III of England and called it the Georgian Star. While that name may have been acceptable in Britain, it didn't sit well with the rest of Europe. That's when German astronomer Johann Bode stepped in. Drawing inspiration from the mythological figure Uranus, father of Cronus, he proposed the name Uranus. And so, the only planet in our solar system named after a Greek god was born. But where exactly is Uranus? At its closest approach, Uranus is 1.6 billion kilometers from Earth, and at its farthest, about 2 billion kilometers away. So if you waved at Uranus, it would take light nearly 3 hours to wave back. It takes 84 Earth years for Uranus to complete a full orbit around the Sun. That means to celebrate your first birthday on Uranus, you'd have to be 84 years old on Earth. But that's not even the weirdest part. What makes Uranus truly bizarre isn't its orbit, but its posture. This planet is tilted at an angle of 98 degrees. Essentially, it rolls along its orbit on its side. No other planet in the solar system behaves this way. It's like a scar left behind by a colossal cosmic collision. So how did this happen? Scientists believe a massive object, or perhaps several smaller ones, crashed into Uranus long ago, tipping it over and tilting its moons along with it. Uranus's internal structure consists of 3 main layers: a dense core made of iron and nickel surrounded by an icy mantle, and an outer atmosphere of hydrogen and helium gas. But the term ice here is misleading. We're not talking about frozen water like in a home freezer. Instead, it's a hot, pressurized fluid mixture of water, ammonia, and methane. And here's the most fascinating part. The internal pressure on Uranus is so immense that some simulations suggest it might rain diamonds deep within the planet. Yes, actual diamonds. What takes millions of years to form on Earth could be falling from the sky on Uranus. Imagine this. While we look out the window and ask, "Is it going to rain today?" a Uranian might be asking, "How many carats will it rain today?" At 224 degrees Celsius, Uranus is the coldest planet in the solar system. Yes, even colder than Neptune. The reason for this remains a mystery. Is there a strange barrier preventing Uranus's internal heat from reaching the surface? Or did it lose its core heat in some ancient explosion? We just don't know. But in 1986, Voyager 2 revealed something incredible. Enormous storms the size of 2/3 of the United States, with temperatures dropping to 193 degrees and winds whipping at over 900 kilometers. On the surface, Uranus appears quiet, but deep down, it's anything but calm. Despite being billions of kilometers away, Uranus is not alone. It has 27 moons orbiting around it, each very different from the moons of other planets. Most planetary moons are named after gods and mythological figures. But Uranus took a different path. Its moons are named after characters from the works of Shakespeare and Alexander Pope. Yes, these moons are like actors performing on a celestial stage. Some examples: Titania, Oberon, Puck, from A Midsummer Night's Dream; Miranda, Ariel, from The Tempest, Umbriel, from Pope's The Rape of the Lock. These 27 moons are divided into 3 categories: 13 inner moons, 5 major moons, and 9 irregularly orbiting small moons. Perhaps the most intriguing is Miranda. Discovered in 1948, Miranda is just 470 kilometers long in diameter. but it's home to Verona Rupes, a canyon 20 kilometers deep, the deepest known cliff in the solar system. That's so extreme that even the Grand Canyon would look like a sandbox next to it. Miranda isn't volcanic, so this massive canyon wasn't carved by lava. It might have been caused by an ancient collision or intense geological upheaval in the moon's early years. No one knows for sure, but one thing's certain. Miranda is a geological time bomb, frozen in silence. One of Uranus's main moons, Ariel, is nearly 1,160 kilometers wide, certainly not small. It orbits Uranus at an almost perpendicular angle, exposing it to extreme seasonal changes. Imagine a place where night never ends during one season, and day lasts for months in another. Like Earth's moon, Ariel always shows the same face to Uranus. If there were Uranian observers, they'd always see the same side of Ariel. Umbriel, named after the Latin word for shadow, is a mysterious satellite. Its cratered surface features impact sites more than 200 kilometers wide. It silently orbits Uranus from 266,000 kilometers away, like the embodiment of shadows in our solar system. Uranus's atmosphere holds layer upon layer of secrets. It's so thick and dense that light barely penetrates it. In the upper atmosphere, methane dominates. This gas absorbs red and yellow light, making Uranus appear in its iconic blue-green hue. But what lies beneath? As we go deeper, pressure increases. Gases turn into fluids. Ammonia, water, and methane mix. And somewhere deep inside, the pressure squeezes carbon atoms into crystalline diamonds. So yes, scientists say if it rains on Uranus, it's not water, it might be diamonds. A romantic notion, but also a cosmic reality. On the loneliest planet in the solar system, it might just be raining diamonds. We first learned about this planet thanks to Voyager 2's 1986 flyby. At first glance, Uranus looked calm, but later observations from the Hubble Space Telescope revealed otherwise. In 2006, scientists detected massive dark storms, some the size of North America. Winds blew at 900 km/h in the opposite direction of the planet's rotation. Uranus is a planet screaming in silence. It shows us that space isn't just stars and galaxies, it's silence, darkness, and cold, each with their own language. Its axis is tilted sideways. Its colors are icy, but its storms are fiery. Its moons are literary, and its atmosphere remains a scientific enigma. It's like the weird but lovable child of the solar system. Now let's slowly turn our camera around Uranus, because this lonely giant isn't quite as alone as it seems. Let's begin with its largest companion, Titania. Titania is Uranus's largest moon and the 8th largest in the solar system. It was discovered in 1787 by none other than William Herschel, the same man who discovered Uranus itself. The name Titania comes from the Queen of the Fairies in Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. This poetic link between astronomy and literature has always fascinated me, like a secret pact between the skies and the stories we tell. Titania is 1,587 kilometers wide, almost half the size of Earth's moon, yet still enormous. It orbits Uranus from about 436,000 kilometers away, completing one orbit in 8.7 Earth days. And its surface? Thanks to infrared spectroscopy in 2005, we know it's covered in frozen carbon dioxide and water. Imagine stepping onto its surface, your foot crunching through frozen crystals in a cosmic frost. But Titania is not alone. Just beyond it lies another moon, Oberon. Also discovered in 1787 by Herschel, Oberon is named after the fairy king from the same Shakespearean play. Orbiting 584,000 kilometers from Uranus, Oberon is the 9th largest moon in the solar system. And here's something interesting. With a good amateur telescope, you can actually see Oberon from Earth. Maybe someone watching this video has unknowingly gazed upon it already. Like Titania, Oberon always shows the same face to Uranus, completing one orbit in 13.5 Earth days. These moons spin around their planet like loyal companions in a cosmic dance, and in the middle of this dance are Uranus's rings. When you think of Saturn, the first thing that comes to mind is its rings. But Saturn isn't the only one with them. Uranus has rings too, 13 of them to be exact. The first 9 were discovered in 1978. Voyager 2 spotted 2 more in 1986. And in the early 2000s, practically yesterday, 2 additional rings were found. These 13 rings encircle Uranus between 38,000 and 98,000 kilometers from the planet. But unlike Saturn's bright, spectacular rings, Uranus's are faint and narrow. They're only visible through near-infrared observations or during stellar occultations. The naming is unique: Zeta, 6, 5, 4, Alpha, Beta, Eta, Gamma, Delta, Lambda, Epsilon, Nu, and Mu. The Greek letters and numbers reflect a precise, methodical approach, evidence of how carefully Uranus's ring system has been studied. So how did these rings form? Scientists believe they may be the shattered remains of former moons, destroyed by ancient collisions. These fragments gradually settled into orbit, forming the rings we see today. Maybe within the rings lie the scattered bones of ancient satellites, a blue world spinning in the 7th orbit of the Sun, distant, cold, and silent, mistaken for a star for centuries, Uranus. For ages, humans stared at the sky and saw a mere point of light, until William Herschel's telescope rewrote its story. Uranus taught us how little we truly knew. With its sideways axis, backward-blowing storms, and invisible rings, Uranus is a planet that defies expectations. Maybe that's why it's so captivating. It's not just a gas giant, it's a silent sphere of cosmic secrets drifting at the edge of the solar system. As deep as an ocean, as cold as ice, and yet stunningly beautiful. Its methane-rich atmosphere gives it a soft, sapphire glow. But below that calm face may lie a diamond storm. Uranus is the coldest planet, but inside, it may be hot enough to crush carbon into crystal. Think about that. Somewhere in space, it's raining diamonds, and we're still checking the forecast for rain back on Earth. Shakespearean moons orbit this strange world. Titania, Oberon, Miranda, each with its own story, its canyons, its frozen plains, and ancient silence. Their tilted orbits reflect Uranus's own odd lean, reminding us how strange and rich the universe truly is. And yes, the rings. Not as flashy as Saturn's, but quietly elegant. They require careful observation to see, like life's hidden details that carry the deepest meaning. To tell the story of Uranus is to tell the story of the unknown. We may never set foot there. We may never touch its surface. But trying to understand, isn't that what makes us human? Every planet is a world. Every moon, a tale. Every ring, a trace of time. And Uranus, that distant blue tilted planet, reminds us, nothing in the universe is ordinary. Look close enough and everything is extraordinary. If we opened even the smallest window into the icy silence and cosmic roar of Uranus in this documentary, we're glad to have taken that journey with you. See you in the next story on the next planet. Keep looking up. There are still so many stories waiting to be told.